Good afternoon. So, in continuation with the fourth unit of modulation and multiplexing for various forms of data, today we are going to see about the compression. So, we know that compression is used to reduce the data size and to increase the speed or data rate of the wireless communication. So, as the broadcast sensor, the high quality digital stream of VDR goes through an MPEG encoder, you know that, which is used to convert the raw input data into the comfortable manner. So the MPEG 4 video of the correct size and format for the satellite receiver in our home. Encoding works in conjunction with the compression is used to analyze each video frame and eliminate redundant irrelevant data and extrapolate information from other frames. This purpose reduces the overall size of the file, and each frame can be encoded in three different ways, that is intra-frame, predicted frame and bidirectional frame. In intra-frame, which contains the complete image data for that frame, so this method provides the least compression, and in the second method, predicted frame, which contains just enough the information what to tell to the satellite receiver and how to display the frame based on the most recently displayed intra-frame on predicted frame. As the bidirectional frame, which displays information from the surrounding intra-frame and predicted frame, this method is using the data from the closest surrounding information. The receiver interpolates the position and color of the each pixel. This process occasionally produces artifact, that is a glitches of the video images. So here usually we have that the misspelling word, which is called as pixelating, a technically incorrect term which is for the macro blocking, in which the fluid picture temporarily dissolves into block. There are really the pictures on our TV screen, but they are too small for our human eye to perceive them individually, and they are tiny squares of video data that make up the image we can see. So we can use it the rate of compression, and that rate of compression can be depends upon the nature of the programming. If the encoder is converting the newscast, it can be used a lot of predicted frames, because most of the scenes stays the same from one frame to the next. In more fast-spaced programming, things can change very quickly from one frame to the another frame, so that the encoder has to create more intra-frame. So, as a conclusion, your newscast generally compresses to a smaller image than something like a car race. After the video is compressed, they provide encryption into the encrypted to keep the people from accessing it for free. Encryption scrambles the digital data in such a way that it can only be decrypted if the receiver has a correct encryption algorithm and security key. Once the signal is compressed and encrypted, the broadcast center beams it directly to one of its satellites. The satellite picks the transmitter signal by the broadcast center with an onboard disk, amplify the signal, and uses another disk to beam the signals back to the earth, where the receiver can pick up it. Audio and video files are very large bits. Unless we develop and maintain very high bandwidth network, we have to compress to data. So relying on higher bandwidth is not a good option. So traffic needs either increases and will adapt to spam current limit, whatever this is. So we will we will take the compression becomes a part of the representation of coding scheme, which have become popular audio, video and image format. So these are all the different types of coding techniques, entropy encoding and source encoding, with the different categories of the one. Then what is a compression? The compression basically employs to reduce the data rate with some sort of redundancy. So these are the hierarchy of the different types of compression. Starts from temporal, spatial, spectral and psychovisual. So temporal can be called that is used for 1D data, 1D single dimensional signals and audio, etc. Spatial can be used for correlation between neighboring pixels or data items, and spectral can be used to compress the data in the frequency domain to exploit the relationship between the frequency of change in data, and psychovisual exploit the perceptual property of the human visual system. And there are basically two types of techniques, that is lossless compression and lossy compression. In lossless compression, data is compressed and it can be reconstituted and recovered or reconstructed without any loss in the information, and these are all commonly called as bit preserving and reversible compression system. Whereas the lossy or loss compression system aims to obtain the best possible fidelity for the given bit rate or minimizing the bit rate to achieve a given fidelity measure. So this is nothing but the reconstruction data cannot be the same replication of the original data. So audio and video compression techniques are most suited to form this type of compression. So what is compression? So if an image is compressed, it clearly needs to uncompress before it can be viewed. Some processing of data may be possible in encode form, and lossless compression frequently involves some form of the entropy encoding and are based in the information theoretical technique. And lossy compression use source encoding technique that may involve transform coding, differential encoding or vector quantization. So here this is some of some basic information related to the MPEG standard. MPEG standard exists to promote system interoperability among our computer, television and handheld video and audio devices. There are different versions of the MPEG like MPEG 1, 2, 4 and 21 that is suited for different sort of application. Like MPEG 1, it is original standard for encoding and decoding. MPEG 2 standard for digital television. This compresses files for transmission of high quality video. And similarly MPEG 21, it is also called as multimedia framework. This standard is used to interpret what the digital content to provide to which individual user, so that the media plays losslessly under any language, machine or user condition. So this is the block diagram which explains the different set of the audio and video compression technique along with the suitable blocks which is used for encryption and the encryption. So here this is a block diagram which explains the dual process of the compression, that is encryption and decryption. This is that is used for secure communication. So it is a most effective way to achieve data security. So the encryption here the clear text or whatever the original text, it is called as the clear text, and after the encryption by using the suitable key it has been locked and it has been converted into the ciphertext. Ciphertext is the output of the encryption and that is transmitted over the channel to the receiver side, and the receiver side the reverse process that is called as the decryption of the encryption has been takes place by using the same key which is used by the encryption, right? So after translating into the original information, again we will be getting the clear text. So the clear text is the original information, ciphertext is the encrypted data. Encryption, it is a process which is used in the transmitter side, and the reverse process of encryption that is called as decryption, which is used in the reverse receiver side. So here there are two keys used in the encryption method, that is symmetrical key and public key. Symmetrical key encryption and decryption uses the same key, thus communicating party must have the same key before they can achieve the secret communications, right? So unless the receiver knows the secret key, he cannot be able to interpret that received information. That is the meaning for symmetric key. And public key is the encryption scheme. The encryption key is published for anyone to use and encrypt data. However, only the receiving party has access to the decryption key that enables the message to be read. And decryption, it is a reverse process of encryption, and it is a process used to converting the encrypted data into the original text that can be read by the human being or the computer. This term could be used to describe the method of unencrypting the data manually or with unencrypted data using the proper codes or key. Data may be encrypted to make it difficult for someone to steal the information. Some company also encrypt data for general production of company and data and other resources. If the data needs to be viewable, it may require decryption, right? So this is the environment of digital video broadcast system which can be used in the industry side.